ayes are 1, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Jay, it has passed. Tell us what happens next.
Yeah, well, first, Kira, you can hear that applause in the chamber. I can hear it here in the hallway right off the House floor. You saw some of those members look into the gallery there as they were applauding. We know that a number of Epstein survivors were sitting there in the gallery for the duration of the vote, watching this tally come in, something that they had fought for literal years, and then ramped up the pressure in the last few months here on Capitol Hill, coming to the Hill, tearfully recounting their experiences with Jeffrey Epstein, saying how old they were when they met him for the first time. One woman was 14 years old when she said she first encountered Jeffrey Epstein. And so those experiences, ramping up the pressure on lawmakers. They had a press conference more than a month ago, then another this morning. What happens next for this legislation is it now goes over to the Senate, where House Republican leaders have made it clear they want the Senate to rewrite this and add in what they say would be stricter protections for the identities of victims, as well as the identities of any confidential informants and things of that nature. It's unclear exactly what the Senate is going to do here. John Thune, the top Republican in that chamber, has really not given an indication one way or the other which way he's leaning. Democrats have said getting the Senate to rewrite this would only be a delay tactic to pause and try to stop this legislation dead in its tracks. What exactly will happen in the Senate is unclear. If the Senate does rewrite this, it would have to go back to the House, where this fight could kick off all over again. If the Senate passes this as is, though, it would go to the president's desk, where the president said as recently as yesterday he would sign this legislation. Kira.
Welcome to Doublespeak. Today marks a truly historic moment on Capitol Hill, a rare instance of overwhelming bipartisan consensus, fueled by public pressure and a desire for accountability. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted by an astonishing 427-1, and the Senate has unanimously agreed to compel the Department of Justice to release all of its Jeffrey Epstein files. This bill now heads to President Donald Trump's desk, who, after weeks of resistance, has committed to signing it into law. This isn't just about documents, it's about justice long denied. Earlier today, survivors of Jeffrey Epstein spoke at a news conference at the U.S. Capitol, their voices powerful amidst the political maneuvering. Annie Farmer, one of the brave survivors, spoke of years of institutional betrayal, a betrayal that this unanimous vote now seeks to address. Standing alongside these survivors was Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who delivered a scathing critique of her former ally, President Trump. Greene, who has been at the forefront of the push for transparency, declared that the Epstein issue has ripped MAGA apart. This is a stark reversal from weeks ago, when Trump had been actively lobbying his own party to vote against releasing these files, dismissing the push as a Democratic distraction. His sudden pivot, calling for his party to vote to release them because we have nothing to hide, is a remarkable political maneuver, clearly driven by overwhelming pressure from his own base and the broader public. The momentum was undeniable. We saw Democratic Minority Leader Chuck Schumer ask for unanimous consent in the Senate. Without a single objection, the measure passed, showcasing a rare alignment across the aisle for an issue of profound public interest. This means the bill will bypass debate and amendments, heading straight to President Trump for signature.
2/3 being in the
Once signed,
affirmative.
the Department of
The
Justice
rules
will
are
have a crucial
suspended.
deadline,
The
30
bill
days to
is
release
passed,
all of the
and
Epstein
without
files,
objection, the
while
motion
certain
to
sensitive
reconsider
information
is
relating
laid
to
on the
underage
table.
victims or ongoing inquiries may be withheld. The vast majority is now
Jay.
mandated for public view.
And there
This
it is.
comes just a week after more than 20,000 pages of documents, some mentioning Trump, were released. A mere prelude to what's now coming.
All right, sorry, Jay, I think my mic got cut off right at that moment. We got in there right on time. It has passed. Tell us what happens next.
Yeah, well, first, Kira, you can hear that applause in the chamber. I can hear it here in the hallway right off the House floor. You saw some of those members look into the gallery there as they were applauding. We know that a number of Epstein survivors were sitting there in the gallery for the duration of the vote, watching this tally come in, something that they had fought for literally literal
She
years,
stressed her
and then
capability
ramped up
to
the
question
pressure in the
witnesses
last few months
without
here
external
on
influence.
Capitol Hill, coming
President
to the Hill,
Trump,
tearfully
in a
recounting
post on
their
Truth Social,
experiences with Jeffrey
acknowledged the
Epstein, saying
Senate's
how
agreement,
old they were
but
when they met
seemingly
him for the
attempted to
first time.
downplay
One
the
young woman,
significance,
one woman was
writing,
14 years
"I don't
old
care when
when
the
she
Senate
said she
passes the
first
House bill.
encountered Jeffrey
I just don't
Epstein.
want
And so
Republicans to
those
take their eyes off
experiences,
all of the
ramping up the
victories that we've
pressure on
had."
lawmakers.
He
They had
then
a press
listed a
conference
litany of
more
his
than a month ago,
administration's
then
perceived
another
achievements,
this morning.
trying to steer
What
the
happens
narrative away
next
from
for
the
this
Epstein
legislation
files
is it
and
now
towards
goes
his own
over to the
political
Senate, where
agenda.
House Republican
But the
leaders have made
genie
it
is out of the
clear
bottle.
they want the
Trump
Senate
had
to
previously
rewrite
claimed
this
he
and
cut
add
ties
in
with
what they
Epstein
say
years ago
would
and
be
has always
stricter
denied any link
protections
to
for
Epstein's
the
horrific
identities
sex
of
abuse
victims
and
as well as
trafficking.
the identities
The
of any
question now
confidential
looms larger than
informants and
ever.
things of that
What else do
nature.
these
It's
forthcoming
unclear
files
exactly what the
contain,
Senate is
and
going to
what
do here.
truths will
John
finally
Thune,
emerge
the
from the
top Republican
shadows?
in that chamber,
The
has really
American
not given
people
an indication
and
one way or
Epstein
the other
survivors
which
are
way
about to
he's
find out.
leaning. Democrats have said getting the